Hey guys, today we're going to address a misfire issue in this 2015 Tahoe. So this issue may address several types of vehicles, and we're going to focus on the K2XX potential problems that you might have with a misfire in this vehicle. The first thing we check are the basics. We're going to check the battery health, we're going to check the battery connections, and we're going to also check all the plugs to see if everything's plugged in and tight. This is the battery tester that we use in the shop to verify the health of the battery. Now before doing any work, you want to disconnect the negative terminal. Here's a little tip for you guys. Because I'm in a shop and several people are working in here, someone might want to try to move the vehicle and not know what I'm doing under the hood. So we leave quick little notes for each other in case there's something major like, hey, I have this unplugged, please don't start it. So after I've disconnected the battery, what I like to do is discharge any residual power in the system. So there are capacitors in it, so they might hold some energy. So what I like to do is hit the brake, turn on the light switch, and also hit the horn. You don't know with these newer CAN bus vehicles what is actually active when things are turned off, so by turning all of these, that's going to make sure that we discharge all the power. Now to access the ignition coils, we have to take off this PVC hose. So there's a clamp here, you push up and it will pull off, and then you push this one in and you pull it off. You'll have to remove the oil cap, and then the valve cover lifts off. Before you lift this off, make sure there's no debris that's going to get in there. So we're going to remove the coil pack, whether we're just moving it around or we have to replace it, it's going to be the same thing. So we're going to leave the spark plug hooked up. So you just pull on the boot. You've already loosened the bolts here. There's a plug here. So you're going to push on the clip to unlock it. That comes out. We've already gone ahead and loosened these 10mm bolts, and they'll come off the valve cover. Now this truck's been in here before and we had to do some diagnostics. So you can see that cylinder 1, the coil is off the truck. The reason being is the first time the truck was here, it had a misfire on cylinder 5. So we moved the coil pack from cylinder 5 to cylinder 1, checked everything over, cleared the codes, gave it back to the client. The vehicle is now back and our code has moved from 5 to 1. So it's leading us to believe that the coil pack is done. We're still going to do some preventative maintenance. So there is a ground down here you guys can see. So you see down here this ground that's on the cylinder head, and we can see a thin gauge wire. It looks like it's an 18, maybe 16 gauge wire. That potentially is a similar issue that we documented in the old GMT 800 platform, except that ground, it looks like the same color wire, it's black and white. That ground used to be on the back of the block behind or underneath the intake manifold. It might be very similar to how the vehicle's wired, but they've moved the ground over here to this cylinder head. We use a Snap-on scan tool in the shop, and the nice thing is about pretty much any scan tool that at a professional grade and you're paying a subscription is you get a lot of features. So this scan tool will document everything and save it onto a cloud for us. So we can see here, this is the first time we documented the vehicle. So you can see here's the date. So we documented the vehicle in May. And we're going to go over here. So it had a misfire detected, and if we look further into the report, we had a specific P0305 cylinder misfire. Now come to today and we can see that we're in July. Again, we have the misfire detected, and looking at our report, it's now cylinder 1. Now remember, the day that it came in, we moved 5 to 1, gave it back to the client, wanted to see what it does. Vehicle's back, and then the vehicle's telling us, hey, I'm having a misfire over here. So we know we had a hunch this was going to happen. We want to induce the problem, but this helps us kind of verify. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel or anything. We don't have to really rewire the vehicle. We are going to do that one connection, but we've pretty much isolated it to here. Now these grounds are cranked on there pretty tight, so I find it just a little bit easier to hit it with an impact and some penetrating lube. So the reason why we want to undo is we want to get a good look at it. So this is just the preventative maintenance part. Now, if we found that this was super corroded, like the copper looked black, bunch of powder on it turned green, we would go ahead and change this. This is actually looking pretty good. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna use some contact cleaner, try to clean this up, and put some dielectric grease to help protect it. While we're in here, we're gonna clean the mating surface with our brush. Taking our contact cleaner. And now we apply our dielectric grease. So our focus is the exposed wire, giving a coat there, but we'll also coat the mating surface of the ring terminal to help prevent any corrosion later down the road. For reinstallation, you can see I'm putting it in by hand, and we're just putting on snug. Even though it's a big bolt and this is fairly strong metal, it's at the end of the day it's still cast aluminum. We don't want to strip it, and then we had to reapply a little bit of the dielectric grease because some fell off when we were putting it on. So we were again just focusing on the exposed copper. Here's the old ignition coil we took out of the vehicle. This is the new one. This is the part number 127084996. Now, don't rely on this part number in this video because we had to call the dealership with our VIN. There was another option for a part number. Just go with whatever part number the dealership recommends in their database. And upon other observation, so this is the new one here. You can see this is what the sealed unit looks like. But on the old one, we can see some discoloration. That's probably why we're having some issues with it. Now, when you're tightening these ignition coils, I'm holding the ratchet from the head to apply less torque. It's aluminum valve cover, it's soft metal. It does not need that much torque to be tightened on there. Just snug it up. Now we can go ahead and plug everything in. So we're gonna note the orientation of the angle of the plug wire, and we're gonna snap it in. So you wanna give it a light tug, make sure it's actually clipped on. And then our plug to the harness. There'll be a click again, and double check it's on there all the way. All right, so engine has been cleared of the code. Go fire it up. So we will have to drive the vehicle, let it idle, put it through its paces, because it's an open loop right now. It's not going to tell us anything. We have to get into closed loop, drive it around, and then scan it again to see if the computer notices anything. Okay, now we're just putting the valve cover back on. Now, while we were working on it, we had the oil cap on to make sure no debris went in there. We had to take it off again so we can fit it over the valve cover. It's just a beauty piece that makes it look nicer and has some insulation there to cut down on noise. So take your hose, clamps back on, and this one will clamp back on. All right, so we've gone ahead and scanned the truck, and this is what we want to see. 0 codes present, everything checks out. And that's what I do like about this particular scan tool. You do have to pay big money for it, but we are in a shop and we see a lot of vehicles, but this will show us hard codes and soft codes, and it'll show us things that may be in the computer system still that haven't been cleared out properly since the fix, and it's documenting everything that we're doing. So it'll be in our database for this VIN for our client, and this way we can always go back to the VIN number and say, okay, that's how we diagnosed this. We diagnosed it, we scanned it, and you saw us date it, and then it came back, okay, the code is there, but it moved to another cylinder, document it, and then we're going to document it again. That way, if the vehicle ever has issues, we can figure it out a lot faster. Well, there you guys have it. Those are probably the most common culprits of your misfires, probably a bad ignition coil. But then the one that's underlying that a lot of people might not notice is that ground. So regardless, I would take care of that ground, double check the crimp, make sure it's good, make sure the wire's not corroded, go ahead, clean it, and put dielectric grease, and then move the coils around if you guys ever have any issues.